In this video, we will discuss about the exception handling mechanism. While executing any program, we get two types of errors: compile time error, runtime error. Are there any syntactical errors in the program? We get compile time error. Anyhow, if the program is compiled successfully, during runtime also we may get some sort of errors. We call them as runtime errors. Look at this simple Java program. Here it is syntactically correct. It is compiled successfully. But if we run this program, we get the error message and it stops the remaining part of the program execution. From here actually execution begins. And this is the first statement. And here it is divided by 0 error. Immediately the Java runtime environment displays the exception or error related information. Exception in thread, arithmetic exception divided by 0, and here it stops the program execution. It terminates the program. It won't continue the remaining part of the program execution. These are known as the exceptions. Whenever any runtime error is occurred, it stops the program execution, it aborts the program, and it won't continue the remaining part of the program execution. We can say an exception is an abnormal condition that can occur during the execution time of a program. An exception is unexpected event that may occur during the runtime of the program. If these exceptions are not prevented or at least handled properly, either the program will be aborted abnormally or it may give incorrect result. If we are unable to catch those exceptions or if we are not handling them properly, the program will be terminated abnormally or it may give some incorrect result. Generally, there are two types of exceptions: checked exception and unchecked exception. And one more is there, error. Generally, it is considered as unchecked exception only. According to Oracle, there are three types: checked exception, unchecked exception, error. What are checked exceptions? All the exceptions other than the runtime exceptions are known as checked exception. So these are checked during the compile time. Examples are SQL exception, IO exception, class not found exception. Unchecked exception. Runtime exceptions are known as unchecked exceptions. These exceptions are not checked at the compile time. Examples are arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, array index out of bound exception. Error. Generally, error is irrecoverable. Examples are out of memory error, virtual memory error, like stack overflow error. In Java, we have the built-in exception classes under java.lang package. Throwable is the superclass of all these. And exception, error are the subclasses of throwable. Under exception, again we have IO exception, SQL exception, class not found exception, runtime exception. Under this, again we have arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, number format exception, index out of bounds exception. Under error, we have these. These three are known as checked exceptions. We can check during the compile time itself. And these are checked during the runtime. We call them as unchecked exceptions. And these are also comes under unchecked exceptions. We can handle only runtime exceptions. Now we will see where actually which type of exception may occur. First we will see arithmetic exception. If we divide any number by 0, then there occurs arithmetic exception. Look at this statement: 50 divided by 0. Here we are trying to divide 50 by 0. Here arithmetic exception occurs. One more, null pointer exception. If we have a null value in any variable and performing any operation on that variable, then null pointer exception arises. See here, a string is initialized with null and we are trying to find the length of that. We are performing finding the length of that string. Here it generates a null pointer exception. Number format exception. The wrong formatting of any value may occur. Number format exception. Suppose I have a string variable that has the characters and converting this variable into digit will occur. Number format exception. Here S is initialized with ABC and using integer.parseInt method we are trying to convert ABC into their equivalent integral value. So here it is a wrong formatting operation. Here it generates the number format exception. Array index out of bounds exception. Here we declared one integer array A and we fixed its size to 5, but we are trying to access A of 10th index element. In this case it generates the array index out of bound exception. And in Java, using try, catch, finally, throws, we can handle the exceptions. Look at here, this is a simple try, catch. Try and catch, these two are keywords. And try block. Here we need to keep the statement that may cause an exception. Catch takes one parameter, that is object of exception class. Within this catch block, we need to write the error handling code. Means, if any exception rises in this try block, what to do? We need to write its respective code in this catch block. These are the points we need to remember. Try block contains a set of statements where an exception occurs. A try block is always followed by a catch block. There actually we will write the error handling code. A try block must be followed by catch blocks or finally block or code. While writing a program, if you think that certain statements in a program can throw an exception, enclose them in try block and handle that exception using catch block. A single try block can have several catch blocks associated with it. So this is the simple example using try and catch. Here arithmetic exception occurs, so that's why we kept the statement in try block. And here we have written its respective catch block. Execution begins from the main, and here while executing this step, it generates the arithmetic exception. Then it searches for its respective catch block. Here it is arithmetic exception catch block. It gets executed. It prints you should not divide a number by 0. That's why we get this here. Then it won't stop the program execution. It resumes and continues the remaining statements execution. That's why here we will get out of try catch block. And one more, finally block. Finally block contains the statements that must be executed whether the exception occurs or not. The statements present in this block will always execute regardless of whether exception occurs in the try block or not. Generally, we will keep the statements related to closing a connection and a stream in the finally block. See, this is the syntax of the finally block. Try, catch, then finally block. These are the points we need to remember related to finally block. A finally block must be associated with a try block. You cannot use finally without a try block. You should place the statements in this block that must be executed always. And it is optional. In normal case, when there is no exception in try block, then the final leaf block is executed after try block. However, if an exception occurs, then the catch block is executed before final leaf block. An exception in the final leaf block behaves exactly like any other exception. The statements present in the final leaf block execute even if the try block contains control transfer statements like return, break, or continue. So when the final leaf block does not execute. See, we will discuss about the thread concept in next coming videos. Whenever a thread dies, in that case, the final leaf block does not get executed. And using of system.exit and one more, due to an exception arising in the final leaf block. In these three cases, final leaf block does not execute. As I said, a try block may be associated with one or more catch blocks. See, this is the syntax: try block, catch block. This is one more catch block related to one more exception. Like that, we may include any number of catch blocks, and last final leaf block is added. At a time, only one exception occurs, and at a time, only one catch block is executed. I am repeating, this is important. At a time, only one exception occurs, and at a time, only one catch block is executed. All catch blocks must be ordered from most specific to most general. All catch blocks must be ordered from most specific to most general. That is, catch for arithmetic exception must come before catch for exception. See, this is an example of multi-catch, single try and multi-catch. In this try block, we kept here there is a chance for arithmetic exception. Here arithmetic exception rises and immediately it searches for its respective catch block. Here it is found, then it starts executing this catch block. Then it won't execute the remaining any other catch block. Then it executes the statements followed by all catch blocks. So that's why here we will get out of try catch block. See, it should not divide a number by 0 out of the try catch block. Look at one more example. Here, there is no arithmetic exception. Here, we fixed array size is 7, but we are trying to access 10th index element. It generates the array index out of bounds exception. Here, at this statement, it raises an exception and it searches for its respective catch block. It is not related to it. Now, here it is related to it. Then, its respective catch block gets executed. So, that's why here we get accessing array elements outside of the limit. Then, it starts the remaining part of the program execution.